Now, we've got Louise McKenna in the house. How you doing, Louise?
Well, Aisling, how are you?
Not too bad. It's been a while. I think we were fighting at one point. I think we've all been fighting, though, haven't we, on the tinterweb?
It's like, no way! I don't want to hear you! Huh? So,
Fun fighting. But,
we're still here.
Yeah.
You kicked me up the arse, in fairness, because I was going down a hole there now, and I was like, yay, Hitler. And I was like, no. Pull me back
That
there.
bollocks.
Yeah, that's bollocks.
Well, that causes trouble. I mean, there is a whole... I was listening to Nick Fuentes at the moment, and he's really pro-Hitler, And there was a Polish guy on then. The Polish guy, listen, he's talking about what Hitler did in Poland. And Fuentes, who's got quite a brilliant mind, like I can see where it's all going, I can see why people are picking up on this vibe. But anyway, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, the reason I could see the whole COVID scam coming was because it was Nazi tactics. But we're not here to talk about the Nazis or Hitler or any of that. Let's just park that over. Or we'll be fighting again.
Over there, huh?
Yeah. It's off, Hitler. We have got something very interesting to talk about. I want to just pull up something you put on X there, Twitter. It'll always be Twitter to me. But it's got everybody talking because we know we have this fake housing crisis. We know it's not real. We know it's, the government's bringing in all these people, all these strangers, as my granny would call them, strangers, and saying, we've got a housing crisis and we've got to house everybody. And then the Shinners are saying housing for all. That's their communist slogan, housing for all. But you are coming at the fake housing crisis from a completely different angle. And it's very, very interesting. Fiduciary, that's a funny word. What does fiduciary mean?
Fiduciary means, Fiduciary means, I'm going to read it out to you so I don't make any mistakes there, right? So I have it all stored in here. These elected officials, basically, they're elected officials. They're not the government. They're just people who are put in place to do a job, and there's a contract for them to stick to, right? Like if you were in a bank or well, they are bankers. But if you were in a shop and you had a contract and you had to stick to that and you start making things up as you went along, you get sacked. That's just the way it is. So it's the same thing. The trust that binds those elected officials between us and them is the contract, and that's the Constitution. So they have fiduciary and they serve us, not the other way around. We can serve them. And they've switched it. They've literally switched the role, and they've turned it all around. And it's like, well, ye serve us and ye do as we say, and that's it. They've taken away our sovereignty, and they have no right to do that. So here, I'll read out this now.
Okay.
So fiduciary in politics, a fiduciary is an elected or appointed official entrusted to act in its best interest of the public. Their role is rooted in the idea that the power is delegated by the people and must be exercised with loyalty, care, and accountability. Key aspects of political fiduciary role include duty of loyalty. Officials must prioritize the rights and welfare of the public over personal, party, or corporate interests. That's not happening.
No, that's not happening at all.
Not at all, no. There's corporations have sovereignty over us. That's what's after happening. Duty of care.
Look, before you go on, because we've a lot to unpack, as the Americans say. We've a lot to unpack here. Let's look at the background first. So we have this fake housing crisis. We have over 13,000 people are homeless. That's including thousands of children. So, we've got this pressure cooker situation. And
that's just registered, 13,000 is just the registered number. That's crazy. There's probably 300,000, I'm thinking, Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, well, go on. So we have this situation. We have, as you say, a generation of Irish citizens unable to afford home ownership. We've got the state's reliance on market actors and international investors. So we saw this after, I suppose, the collapse of the Celtic Tiger. And we saw the way they swooped in and bought up all the properties at cut price. And this has been replicated the world over.
Yeah, total setup.
Let's go on there. Local authorities have undersupplied social housing despite rising demand. So this has all been done on purpose. And as you say, this is not down to, whoopsie-daisy, we just couldn't handle the pressure. This is down to an inability to do the job correctly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally. They're not playing their roles the way they're supposed to. Like, they've gone rogue. That's basically all that's happening here. You know, they're putting all of these foreigners over us, and Article 1 of the Constitution doesn't allow them to do that. Look, there you go. All authority derives from the people. The government holds power and trust and must exercise it in the people's interests. You know,
but they would say now the people, they're not even saying Irish anymore. They're just saying everybody. So everybody, more so than it's anybody but the Irish, really, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. But that's not what happened when the Constitution was written. There wasn't all these other people in the country, so they weren't writing it for them. They were. If you go to Article 6, it says, I don't know it off my head, like, but it talks about nation and traditions, right? So we're supposed to keep our nations and we're supposed to keep our traditions. And our nation is like us, a group of people that share the same culture, share the same values, you know, and our traditions are what goes back thousands of years. Like, so that's supposed to be protected in the Constitution, and it's not. Right now we have a constitutional crisis, you know, and right now we've always had, this has been going on for years. So
well, yeah, I suppose it's kind of come to a head now where it's very visible and we can see. All we have to do is look around in our towns, villages, cities, and we can see the demographic changes, and we can see, you know, the way the Irish are being treated in comparison. And it's tough going, you know, it's a hard one, especially coming after the injections that people were tricked into taking part in these trials, and we're seeing the excess deaths. So there's like a lot going on. I think it's quite overwhelming for Irish people, really, to try and recognize that the people they thought they could trust, they actually cannot trust.
Yeah, we knew this was coming, didn't we? We knew this. They were going to get to a point where they were going to be standing around going, what the hell's going on here? Like, you know, why didn't someone tell us? It's like we were trying, you know, and they're still confused. A lot of them out there. There's still people in denial, like getting angry with me still, saying you're wrong. And I'm like, all the evidence is there. You can't refute it at this stage. Like, you know, all the contamination in the DNA there's just too many doctors out there now and scientists finding all this. The evidence is there. There's no denying it. There's only ignoring it now at this point.
Yeah. And ignore it. Well, I mean, I don't know. The conversations, I mean, I have to say, X really, because Telegram people kind of understand and know. But X is a place where you can have conversations and debates. It's like one of the only places, I would say, despite whatever we may think of Elon Musk. But fiduciary now. So back to that fiduciary word, the fiduciary structure of the state. Where did this word come from? I should know about it, but I don't. Tell me all about it.
Like, it's all to do with contract and trust law. Like, that's what the government is, where it's built on trust. So, you know, they just have, in business, they have fiduciary roles, and they have use you fuckery. Have you ever heard of that?
No. What's that? That sounds like a curse word.
It does, doesn't it? It's again, the use you fuckery in politics refers to a legal and moral framework where public officials, including politicians, civil servants, and governments, hold and manage public property, resources, and authority in trust for the benefit of the people. So, definition, a usufruct is a civil law concept originating in Roman law, meaning that the right to use and benefit from property that belongs to another without damaging or diminishing its substance. So, the people equals the true owners, and that's us. Citizens are the sovereign holders of the land, resources, and authority in a nation. All power flows from them, to see Article 1 of the Irish Constitution. 2, the government, usufructuary, elected officials and institutions are only temporary stewards entrusted to use national assets, land and power for the people's benefit without permanently altering, selling, damaging or privatizing for gain. Everything they're doing, you know, every single one of these elected officials should be sacked right now. That's it. Like, they broke their contract.
It comes down to the people not really knowing their rights. I mean, I suppose there's a big movement on for people to come out of the system and be sovereign and all that. But is this more recognizing the role of government and the fact that, we actually do need some kind of representatives? And government.
Yeah, you do, of course. They're administrators. Like that's their role. You know, that's what judges are. They're all administrators, and they've just taken over. They're communists. Like that's all they've done here. They've come in here back in the 30s, and that was the beginning of the decline of like the gold-backed money. You know, as soon as and when was it? 2002. That's when the Irish lost the punt. So that's when we really went into like fraud and debt, complete debt. We're living in debt, and we should be living in credit. So that's the world we want to get out.
Sorry to interrupt. Are we living in debt with fake money? So does it really matter? Yeah. Is it all just so fake anyway? That we could be in more debt and it doesn't really matter?
You might as well be playing with monopoly money out there now at this point, you know? We have our straw man. I watched something interesting there recently, and it's like the monopoly. It's like, you know, your piece on the board that you used to go around to play the game on the board of like Monopoly. That's your straw man. And that's we're missing control of that. So the government has control of that, and it's playing our part for us. So we need to take back control of the straw man. We take back control of our trust, because right now they have control of the trust, and they're using all that money in that trust to destroy us. And that's fraud. They can't do that. It's not theirs. It's ours.
But how would we stop them from doing what they're doing? How do we prevent that?
There's absolute remedy, and that's to step out their system. Their system they have us in with the birth certs is complete and utter fraud. You are a slave. You're lost at sea. You're out there at sea in the maritime. Yeah. So everyone needs to come back to the land and the soil and reclaim what's theirs. And you can do that. And like the Constitution, you'll still use that, like, you know, you're not trying to destroy the system that's there. You just want to restore the republic that was already there, that's been taken over by communists, because that's all.
Okay, so let's return to what you've put out here on the Tinterweb, and it's caused quite a stir. So this is all about if you find yourself homeless, and you see people that are coming in from distant lands, and they are taking priority, and you are of this land, and you know this, you are Irish. So this is a notice that you send in. Let me go back into X here.
We're under EU law, right?
Yeah.
So they have to keep up the fiduciary duties of the EU law. That's why they're putting these people first, because the Irish don't know that they have these rights. So as soon as the Irish know, they're like the Bible. I've never read it, but I've read lots of bits from it. But you will perish for lack of knowledge. That's happening to people. It's happened like with these all along, and it's still happening because they don't have this in their heads, you know. And a lot of people are overwhelmed. It's like, it's too much. It's like, I have to learn a lot, but you got to start somewhere. So, you know.
Plus, it's great. It's wonderful. Like learning, you know, real learning. That's not brainwashing learning. Real learning is really so interesting. Like, it's not all bad.
Power back. Yeah. You're becoming the executor of your own estate, because right now that's what the government is. They're the executors of your estate, and we're taking back control of that. So I recommend everyone else does the same.
Let's have a look at the next part. So this part 5, breach of fiduciary duty. So this is failure of loyalty. The state has prioritized private developers, institutional landlords, and what's this REITs? What are they? Rates? What's that now? Over the housing needs of Irish citizens.
Real estate investment trusts allow individuals to invest large-scale income-producing real estate. A REIT is a company that owns and typically operates income-producing real estate or related assets. So that's what that is.
Okay. See, we're learning all the time. It's so good. Failure of purpose. So we have the government power over land and housing is meant to secure shelter. And you know, it's funny that you say that the people coming into Ireland understand their rights. So that's why, wasn't it an Afghan? I think it was an Afghan man turned up at the High Court demanding to be accommodated and won.
Okay.
So he knew his rights. So we've got the failure to protect the vulnerable And this is a big one. My God, talk about failure to protect the vulnerable after the COVID scam and what happened with the vulnerable. So we have the homeless, families and youth have borne the brunt of a system that structurally excludes them. Abdication of responsibility. The state has deferred essential functions to the market despite knowing it cannot ensure just outcomes. So it's not looking very good. When we know this was on purpose, we know it's a fake housing crisis. I mean, when I hear housing for all and I hear the Marxists saying that, I know what they mean. They're talking about housing everybody and putting us into 15-minute cities and taking away private property rights. Communism.
Yeah, sure. Look at the bill they're trying. Is it today they're trying to bring in the second part of that bill to take everyone's homes? So I wrote up a notice for that too, and I sent loads of them this morning to all the ministers up there. So it's people don't realize the power of these notices, and when you step out of their system into your own authority, it becomes even more powerful. So you can put liens on these people.
So, I mean, you know all the legal language. You've kind of made yourself a bit of an expert in this field. And I know a lot of people out there have been learning an awful lot when it comes to the Constitution, and they're right, it is a thing. But then it's to try and teach the rest of us who don't really know about this legalese language and probably are a bit frightened of it too.
They are, because they've been avoiding. It's like, I'm over here, look. And they're like, no, I'm not looking there. But now it's like everything else is failing. So it's like, what's next? What can we do now? So it's like, hi, I'm here. You know, so it's here. We're waiting. We just want to teach people. It's all here. Like I said, people are like, does this work? Well, let's find out, because it's all new to all of us. But what I have done, I told you those notices I put out a few weeks ago. I was like, homeless people, if you're homeless and you need a house, write this, put in your own details and send it off. And my friend rang me there last week and he said, I have my friend sitting here beside me, wants to tell you something. He's like, I took your notice and I filled it out and I just put my own details in. He said, I'm homeless on the streets for 3.5 years, was getting absolutely nowhere. And 8 days later, he got a phone call off the government and handed keys to a brand new apartment. So there you go. And another guy was off the dole for a while for whatever reasons they wouldn't pay him. He wrote something saying, you have fiduciary duties, you can't do this. And he had money in his account the next week and he was off the dole for a year. So people have to realize
the money when they have the money.
It's your money. It's theirs. They're stealing it. It's
fake money anyway.
You're the government, not them. Fake money. Yeah, whatever. It should be backed by silver and gold. And that's the world we're going back to. We're going back to a gold-backed system, like silver-backed.
I mean, are we though? Are we? Or where are we going? Where is it all going?
Well, we're doing stuff for the last year and we're in a system that's going to be backed by gold. So if people want to come and join us, we have meetings every month. Like, you're trying to gather people, So yeah.
Okay,
come.
Let's go on. Let's look at this case law. So what's this? NHV versus Minister for Justice. When was this? 2017. The Constitution requires proportionate fair treatment of vulnerable persons. Okay, O'Donnell versus South Dublin County Council. Oh, wow, you've got it all. You've really put a lot of work into this. 2015. So the court recognised a duty on local authorities to respond to basic housing needs. Meadows and Minister for Justice, 2010, where rights are engaged, state discretion must be exercised with care. Sinnott versus Minister for Education, 2001, vulnerable persons may have enforceable socioeconomic rights. Okay. So you can see a lot of work has gone into this, but you have to kind of know your onions before taking on the system.
Yeah, it took me a while. It will take a couple of years to know it, to stand in your authority and know it. But you can start learning things and know things, fairly fast. It's just repetitive. You just have to keep repeating, learning the same stuff. And, it's all about trust law, trust and contract law. That's where we're at. So,
and then testing, I suppose, putting it to the test.
Yeah. Well, I got parking fines on my car there a few weeks ago, and I put the lines through it, and I wrote all this stuff in there. That was about 6 weeks ago. I've heard nothing back since. So, we have the power here. And people have to start realizing that,
Yeah.
So I've sent that notice was there to send to councillors, because I'm going to be homeless come December, because my landlord wants to kick me out, because I'm pretty sure he wants the 1,900 a month that everyone else is getting. Did you know that over 30% of the private rental in Ireland are from foreigners? They're the ones.
But who can afford these rents? I mean, the rents are outrageous.
Yeah, like you're not getting enough wages to cover this. My brother got a house and it's like 1,900 a month for a 2-bedroom apartment. It's like, this is Ireland. I moved into this house when I came home from Australia like 9 years ago, and it was like 650. It jumped up to 850 now is what it is. So he wants me out now because he knows he can get 1,900, Yeah. So.
But who's paying the 1,900? Like, who's got that extra dash to be paying 1,900? That is just ridiculous.
The government has it to pay for the foreigners they want to replace us. That's what's going on there.
So they're definitely failing in their fiduciary duties there, where they are literally putting people out of their homes.
Yeah.
Now, let's move on. So you've got here, so you're really laying it out for people. And anybody, if they want to go on X, what is your address there on X? Was it _Louise? 2 underscores. You're making things difficult for them.
I know. I made that account in 2009, and then I didn't use it until last year. Like, I only because I was getting kicked off everywhere else. So I was like, there's supposed to be free speech over there. I'll head over and see. So I got in here now, and it's only, I don't know what my name is there. It's what is that how people find me? You can't find me with Louise McKenna then. It's the underscores, is it?
I don't know. I think it's the handle, isn't it? The handle is _Louise and then just 2 underscores. And then your name should pop up then.
Okay. Sorry.
I think. Now let me just see what. Now it's all there. It's on your Twitter. You're on Telegram too, but I think Telegram's a tough one to figure out. I still haven't figured it out.
I've slowed down a bit in Telegram because, it was an echo chamber, just all of us in there doing our thing and
fighting.
Yeah, fighting. When X came, then it's like, oh, let's spread our wings again, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone just thinks they know everything, so it's like,
yes.
My mind's open now. It's like, I've been humbled.
We have to try different things.
Yeah, we do.
So let's just finish off the fiduciary, and where do people go if they want to find these notices, and so they can start firing them off and seeing if they get any response. Again, we're testing, experimenting, and testing the water. Or not the water, the land.
There are notices, right? And if they don't respond to them now, they are there and they're lawfully binding from whenever we sort this out. They're there to know that they've ignored them. So all this follows them, whether it's a year, 2 years, 6 months, a week, all this is on record now. So
do you have to register the post? Would it have to, how can you register it? Like, how does that work?
Just register posted to the government. I think it's $9.50 for a registered post, but when you register posted, they've gotten it, it's been sent and you have a receipt. That's your record. That's what you record it with. So you hold on to that receipt, hold on to everything.
Do you need a lawyer to look at it? Do you need any kind of, stamp of authority?
No, you are the authority. You are we the people of the Constitution. They work for us, remember? They serve us.
You have to remind me.
Yeah, not the other way around. So we demand things. People putting out petitions and asking, and they work for us. So we demand, put them on notice. Let them know that they're not in charge. We are. And they've stolen authority that was never theirs to steal. So we're taking it back because we're sovereign.
Seeing the likes of Luke Ming Flanagan and going on about, everybody's welcome.
I would always be on the side of helping people. And this country has a lot of resources. I know people mightn't feel like it has at the moment. And it's certainly not the fault of people who are seeking international protection that they're not feeling the benefit of all these resources. And I think they could have done this a better way, and they could have accommodated people and kept everybody happy.
We're so rich. You ever hear that? We're so rich. We could look after everybody. And why wouldn't we? Nice people should do rich?
That. Why is Ireland rich? It's like pharmaceutical, agricultural. Like we're a farm. Ireland's a farm. And that's why we're rich, because we've been farmed and we're all been pushed to the side for corporate interests. And that has to stop. Look, everyone's sick. 1 in 17 people are autistic out there. And so is Luke Ming Flanagan. He said he is, So that's what's running our government up there. And that's just the truth of it,
And we're being ethically cleansed.
Yeah, we are. And that goes against the Geneva Convention. There's laws, international laws, to stop all this. Watch, hang on. Let me show you now.
Yeah, and they all went out the window. I mean, we saw that with the COVID scam. Where were all the human rights lawyers when, they were coming at us with injections, highly toxic injections, unproven liability free? And I mean, Dolores Cahill said that she would view anybody coming for her with those injections as attempting to murder her. Attempted murder, she would look at it. I mean, so it doesn't get graver than that, does it?
No, it doesn't. No, it is attempted. They have murdered. Look at all the dead people since the vaccine and no accountability. And they just keep ignoring people that are trying to, like the guards. I've spoke to loads of people and they said they went into the guards to try report crimes and the guards won't report the crimes. Why? That's their job. They're failing fiduciary duties for not doing that, So I'd
say Freemasons. I mean, they seem to be in the grip of some kind of, I know it's my answer to everything, isn't it?
But I think it's everyone's answer to everyone, huh? Everything is the Freemasons, And I'm thinking maybe at one point was Freemasonry okay? Like everything, they took over everything and destroyed it. Because like that, I was shouting, it's the Jews, it's the Jews. It's like, well, it's not really. It's just these people that came in, created something to look really bad. That's not, All these people are not bad people. There's just a handful of extremists in every religion, and they're the ones that are doing the damage.
If we're just blaming one group of people, then it's like not taking any responsibility for ourselves. This whole thing is you need to say no. You need to stand up for yourself. You can't just say, I was just following orders. Or my brain doesn't work properly, so I was just doing as I was told. So that's just ridiculous. So okay, there's certainly a Jewish element, that's clear. But it's not just one group of people. It's, it's everywhere as far as I can see. And it just comes down to a lack of moral integrity.
Like who prints the money supply? That's who's controlling everything, So that's
somebody's
where
just doing that. Making the money.
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's move on to Palatine. Well, because I've been following you on social media talking about Palatine, and we have Paliskenry, and we have all these places all around Ireland with the Pal at the beginning. You'll have to remind me of a few. What's the story with it? What does it even mean?
Right. So we have all these Germans, the Palatinate. Do you ever hear the Palatinate in the Holy Roman Empire?
Only from you.
Okay, yeah. So why did we not learn this in school? I used to be so bored in school. It's I stopped going when I was 12. I was like, they're not doing something to me here, so I'm leaving. But I learned more like myself when I looked at all these books. So Germany, right? It's called The Hidden Legacy of the Templars, Palatines, and Palantir and the Modern Digital Threat. For those seeking truth in the ruins of empire. So we had these people. There was a war in Germany. Napoleon, and he went up and he destroyed the Holy Roman Empire. And there was a 30-year war, and the Palatines were like, "We're done. We're leaving. We just want to get out of here and be safe." So they left and they went across to Ireland, England, and on to America. but they were brought here, you know, by the nobility, and they were given lands in Ireland. So they were brought into Dublin. They came down across Tipperary, Carlow, all the way across to Kerry, and they built autonomous cities. Yeah, they were German. Okay. So they built autonomous cities within cities and pushed out all the native Irish. So this has been happening, time and time again, you know. And then at the same time they came in, Sephardic Jews came in from Portugal. So we had an influx of 2 sets of people coming in back then, you know, in the 1600s. So, or the 1800s, sorry. And before that, like, we had the 1600s, and that was the Cromwell, and then go back again to 1300s and 1100s. There's been all these, this has happened time after time. It's like, and then 1845, they killed 5.2 million Irish, you know, and we've been just.
So you've come up with 5.2 million Irish.
I didn't come up with that. Christopher Foley did. Did you ever hear him? Fogarty,
no,
sorry.
I always thought it was 1 million died and 1 million emigrated. No, that was what I was learned in school. I learned that in school.
And it was a famine. Just everyone like died from potatoes, you know. It's like from potato blight. But no, Christopher Fogarty and his wife, he wrote a book, The Holocaust of Ireland, 1845 to 1850. And he went over to the archives from America, went over to the UK and found out from all the archives in the museums over there. He found you should read this book. He's got a video. I'll send you the link after. But 5.2 million is what he came up with. That's how many Irish were holocausted, and the rest were pushed off out to the rest of the world, you know, and treated the worst.
What do you think it is about Ireland? Why are we treated like this? Why do they want to come and kill us all the time? Like, what is it about Ireland, or is it just a thing that happens in all countries?
You go back. I think, like, I don't know, but I think Christianity, something began here, and they came to destroy. Ireland was the ruler of, like, not the ruler, but like the educator, you know. It was where everyone came. Like, everyone thinks Ireland is Irish. Like, it's all Latin. It goes back Latin, 2,000 years. That's what's in all the books, like, you know. And they destroyed Latin. They took Latin out of the schooling in around the 60s. And as soon as they took Latin out of the school, everyone lost the law. They forgot who they were. They don't know the law anymore, because Latin and the law is just like, you know, Justinian deception. That's what's going on here right now, because it's all Justinian law, you know. So that was in the 60s. But where am I going now? Back to...
So we'll go back to the Palatines. They arrive. They come in through Dublin, down towards Tipperary, sweep down to Kerry, and you say the Jews turn up at the same time. I didn't realise. I never knew we had Sephardic Jews. I thought there was one incident in Limerick, and that's the only ever Jewish story I heard in Ireland. So I didn't realise they came in the 1800s.
Yeah.
Did they settle?
The Spanish Inquisition. Like, all the Jews were pushed out there, and they were pushed across, and they were sent to Ireland. So not all of them, but like some of them, you know. And they were brought in at the same time as these. So it's basically the Palatines, the Palatinate. It's like they ruled over, and then everyone else was their slaves underneath them, you know. So they took the Holy Roman Empire and they just moved it over here to Ireland, over to America. It was destroyed by Napoleon, but they just kept going, and they moved it over here, and it's over in America like now, you know. I saw Donald Trump did.
What about like the Palestinians? Is that a different Palatine? Is that just another PAL? Does it
PAL? That's just another colony. I think anywhere that's got the word Palestine, Palatine, there's loads that sound similar. It's all been colonized by these people throughout history, like. So it's all that I've linked it all.
We don't really know our history, do we?
No, we don't.
No.
We have no idea who we are. The Irish think they're this long lost, forgotten race of people. we were at one part, not forgotten, but this, I think we've been so destroyed since the 1100s. The Normans came into it. It even goes back. The Normans were the Vikings. They're the same people. They're the Scandinavians. They just came at two different angles at two different sets of times. Like, so who are we? Who are we like? That's what I want to know.
We're being told now that we're anybody. So that's the new one. It's like, well, you're just anybody. So don't think of yourselves as anything special, because anybody can be Irish. That's kind of the new thing.
Ireland is a corporation, and anybody can be Irish under that corporation. So yeah, I get that. We're from Eru, so we're Celtic. Nobody can be Celtic unless it's your heritage, like, So anyone can be Irish under the Ireland corporation flag, whatever. That's I get that. So when everyone's out there when waving their flags, I'm like, you're waving your corporation flag there right now, and they love that. And the new flag that's come in with all those colors on them, that's their new corporation flag. That's all that is. All flags are is corporations, and this is their new. They're coming in to try to take over now. They're trying to set up a new government right now.
There's a lot of shenanigans going on. I mean, like, you can see them trying to pit the two sides, the flag wars. So to say the Palestinian flag versus what is perceived to be the Irish, the tricolour flag. So you can see that they're going for some kind of, well, they keep mentioning civil war. You can see that in the UK as well. Oh, there'll be civil war, and I'm thinking, who's going to be fighting exactly?
Yeah,
how?
I'm not fighting.
They're going to be armed. Who's going to arm them? Where's the ammo going to come from? But you'd wonder what's going to happen next.
You would. Well, you look back at history. Yeah, I don't like what is in my head, what's common, like, when you look back at history, just look what they did to Germany. Look at Dresden, It's like these people are nuts, like, I don't know what you follow Archaics, do you? Jason Bashir's.
Your man that was in jail for, how long was he in jail for? I don't follow. Yeah, you like him, don't you?
Yeah, it's not that I like him, but he's got good stuff, like, I haven't listened to him in a while, but his work is good, like, it's pretty spot on, He's
very well read. He does a bit of kind of trend reading, doesn't he? So he said we're due some kind of apocalyptic something or other around now.
Who's that now?
Your friend, Archaic guy. Isn't he saying that there's some kind of event?
Yeah, there is. 2040 is coming, and it's supposed to be like, the world is supposed to be destroyed, basically, and we'll build up anew. But it comes every 100 years, and I can see that it has done. They've come in, we're in a fourth industrial revolution now. So there's two, we've been here before. You go back to the Gutenberg press, like, I think that was the first industrial revolution, was it? Back, and that's all the Germans in the Palatine area again,
right? The Reformation, wasn't it? That was the Palatines. That was the Reformation and the print press and printing the Bible, and that started the revolution.
And that's what Palatines are: Protestants, Lutherans, Gothics, and you see all these Gothic style buildings around Ireland. You go up to Duckett's Grove there in Carlow. You have Palatine on one side. I drove past it there coming home from Dublin one day, and I was like, oh, stop the car, look, there's Palatine, there's Zion. It's like, where am I? It's like, this is Carlow. So and then Duckett's Grove, I think he's something like 12,000 acres of land there that they had there.
If you look at some of the architecture and all the rest, it's quite nice, is it? Like, it's quite interesting.
It's done really well, It's Gothic, like, but the Goths are the Palatines. Wherever you go in the world and you see Gothic, that's the Palatines. That's, to me anyway, from what I'm after.
But then, what did they develop into? Like, what have they become to this day? Is it just Protestants, or, like, is there more to it?
Donald Trump, But then Donald Trump says he is of Napoleon's. He comes from his kind of background, And I was like, well Napoleon went up. Anyway, doesn't he? And he does, doesn't he? He went up and destroyed the Holy Roman Empire. So Donald Trump is trying to destroy the Holy Roman Empire. Like, I don't know what he is. It's hard to tell, but he's definitely a Palatine because his grandfather came from the Palatinate area. So, and so does Ursula von der Leyen.
Is it?
No, in Germany. His grandfather, his great-great-grandfather comes from Germany, and they moved on to Scotland then, and then on to America. So his great-great-grandfather came from the Palatine, the Rhine in Germany, the Rhineland. And then Ursula von der Leyen. There's so many people linked back to this Palatine place, Palatinate area in Germany, the Rhineland.
And what about then the British royal family? They're German as well, aren't they? Are they connected?
Yeah. They all go back to the Palatinate area in Germany. That's where the Germans came in like Queen Anne let them all in. And since the 1700s, 1702, I think it was, that was it. That was the end. The Germans took over then. It's been under German rule ever since. So, and I feel before that we were under French rule, so it's French and German. I went down this. What got me on my thinking on all this was a couple of years ago. I went down to Skibbereen. My mum lives down there. And I went into this little town called Skull. And there's a lovely, absolutely beautiful vegan bookshop and all these fascinating old books and holding books I can't afford, but all the history of Ireland is in there. But
a vegan bookshop?
Yeah. Food too. Yeah, vegan food. She does really good food down there. The antique bookshop or something, I don't know. But anyway, the first day I went in there, because I think about a week or two before, there was a woman who was raped here in Waterford City on the way home from a pub, and she was left naked in the middle of the streets with just a scarf over her head. Right. So I went down there and I said, how Irish? She said, what brings you down this way? And I said, well, I came down to see my mother, and I also came down to see how Irish it is over here. Well, that's very far right of you to say that. She says, I was like, oh, well, I said, if you were over there in Waterford, and I said, what happened? I said, you might see it in a different light. I said, it's very quiet over here. You don't see anything going on here. Well, if you came over here looking for Irish people, you're not going to find any. They're all very French and German. That was in Skull over there in West Cork. I was like, oh, why? What's going on here? So that was the beginning. And then I went to the graveyard over there with 9,000 bodies unmarked in Skibbereen, and there's Holy Roman Empire, just the symbolism all over it, It's like these people were murdered, just murdered. Everyone's been murdered and replaced and murdered and replaced. And the people that they bring in, they're all innocent people, they're just slaves they're bringing around the world to replace. It's like, well, we're done with this set now. Let's bring in a new set, New sets are easier controlled. They mix them. And those people that are mixed, they're the ones that are easy controlled then after that, So that's
and then I suppose there's the Kalergi plan too. You can kind of see the Kalergi plan in action. You can see that they do want to get rid of white Europeans and replace them.
Oh, big time. That's obvious now at this point, isn't it? It's like there is no such thing as diversity. It's just ethnic cleansing. That's it. There's it's a made up word,
isn't it?
It is, yeah. And here we are, 2025. We're like, we can get over this whole COVID thing. We'll sort all that out. Next minute, they bring all this in on us. And it's like, that was it to wipe out the last crime, And they did the same back then in 100 years ago when Hitler, when they bombed Dresden, they totally destroyed Germany. And they brought in Turkish and Indians to fill back up the city and rebuild it again. So I was in Brussels once, and I was like, why is this place? It's like there's no white people here, I was even in Amsterdam, you can see it. It's all very not European and such, and they were all brought in after the last. Don't jump up here. To the cat there. He's eyeing this up. They were all brought in after the last war to rebuild, and I feel there's something coming here now, and all these new people.
One thing I do find I've learned from the COVID scam was how important consent seems to be in all of this. So they seem to play, I call them the satanics, because they seem to play by this kind of satanic rule book where you do have to consent. So that's where having a bit of knowledge really does give you a little bit of power.
It is.
It's really important.
It is. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and it's been taken away from us in school. They're just letting them watch Dora the Explorer, like in classrooms these days. They're not teaching them very much, My daughter, when I took her out of school, she told me one day she wanted to read a book, and they were like, "No, watch Peppa Pig on Netflix instead." I was like, "I don't let you watch that. What did you letting you watch that in school for?" So this is what these school, and there was another thing. There was a book in the school called The New Dude, The Adventures of the New Dude. I was like, "Why is this book?" And I looked it up, and like this guy from Limp Bizkit had written the book, and it was his adventures of a nude guy, a man going around having his adventures in the nude. And I was like, this was on a 6-year-old girl's library in the classroom. And he said at the time she wouldn't. She didn't pick it up. She wouldn't read it. She said, but other people were, And I was like, the cover, like literally a naked man with just like a little leaf over his thing. I was like, that's terrible. Like these people at Limp Bizkit, like, you know what they are, they all signed their clothes to somebody there to be where they are. So
the music industry. But talking about that, I was going out for a swim earlier today. And just as I was going out, I was listening to Radio 1. I have to pull it up. I was listening to this song on bloody Radio 1 now, RT Radio 1. And I was like, what am I hearing? I need to pull it up here. I had to send the lyrics to myself. I was so shocked. It's called Take a Sexy Picture of Me. The name of the song is, okay? I think it's genius. Take a sexy picture of me. Wait till I just read you some of the lyrics, if this pulls up for me. Ever since I was a little girl, I only wanted to be sexy. 9 years old, trying to wax my legs with tape. There were some things only I can see, a little spot that can't be lifted. On my left hand, dig in like a car key. So she's 9 years old, she wants to be sexy. It's like, what?
And dig what into her hand like a car key? What?
It said dig in like a car key. On my left hand, dig in like a car key. So I don't know what that is.
That sounds like, self-harm.
It sounds like self-harm. So you see, I've been having a horrible time of late. I get none of your sympathy, but all of your pain hits and the fog lifts, and then it's too much for therapy. So again, more of this messed upness, Oh, baby, heed my solution and take a sexy picture. Take a sexy picture of me and make me look 16.
Oh my God, that was on RT Radio 1.
That was on RT, and apparently it's a song that is popular. I did the butcher. Okay, here we go into verse 2. I did the butcher. I did the baker. I did the home and the family maker. I did schoolgirl fantasies. Oh, I did leg things and hand stuff and single woman banter. Now tell me, what was in it for me? Well, I get kind of prostitution.
Sounds like a poor child's been raped, like.
Yeah.
What the hell?
I know.
That should be on the air.
Chorus then. Oh, I've been having a horrible time of late. I get none of your sympathy and all of your pain hits and the fog lifts and then it's too much for therapy. Oh, baby, heed my solution and take a sexy picture. Take a sexy picture of me and make me look 15. That's all I'll do for now.
That's ridiculous.
Disgusting, isn't it?
Something AI fucking wrote now, probably,
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to curse. I
know. Anyway. That's where we're at. Like, it's just, I think people are shocked. I mean, I'm looking at it all the time and I'm continually shocked by the whole thing.
Yeah, it's like, what else can come next? Shock me more, huh?
Yeah.
But I'm not like, nothing can shock me anymore. It's like, it's like, well, what next? Come on, throw it at us. I'm ready. Let's go.
Yeah, I think definitely we need to have attitude. We need to be fiery. We need to say, take that off the radio. We need to rage. I think the new age has really stopped people from reacting appropriately because it's all positive thoughts, positive vibes only.
Oh, positive bubble, don't come near me. It's like you're in a negative bubble that you're calling positive and it's just ridiculous. Pop!
Yeah.
Come on now.
Totally.
Get out them bubble heads.
So when are you going to publish the book? I mean, how are we going to be able to read the book about Palatine?
It's just about finished. I'm just waiting on some freedom of request information back before I put it out there because I want to just make sure that I'm fact checking myself here, you know, so nobody else can. So as soon as I have all the little nitty bits done there, I don't know how long these letters are going to take. I only sent them out like this morning, yesterday. So, but yeah, I just want to find out about Palantir. You know, what's going on in the government.
Palantir, that's more of it. Do you think that's connected again, Palantir?
100%, and you'll see when you read my book, it'll all just go, you know, from the beginning to the Knights Templar down to Palantir here, it's all surveillance and control. That's all that's going on. So
satanic. It's kind of a satanic Bible, really. It's a satanic control mechanism.
All these people, the Palatines, they're like Rosicrucians, Freemasons, you know. So that's
are the Rosicrucians Catholic though? I can't figure out who's it. And the Jesuits as well. There's like, it's not just the Protestants.
I think they're all the one. Like, you know, it doesn't matter what, when you get to a certain level, religion just goes out of it, and then you go above it. You can be any religion you want, but there's, you know, you just keep going with this, whatever they're doing there. When we went last year, they opened the doors for the Freemason Hall here in town. And I was like, my friend texted me and he was like, they're having an open day. It was culture weekend or something. I was like, they're having an opening day down there. I was like, they're doing what? I said, I walk past this place all the time. And I'm like, oh, look at that sign over the window. I wonder what's in there. It's a Freemason sign, you know? And then it was like, the doors are open. Let's go. So we went down. I went in there and I took loads of photos, and there was two lads there. People were asking them questions, you know. They weren't going to answer what you wanted them to answer, put it that way. But, you know, you got a little bit of an insight into...
Yeah. Did they have the black and white tiles and the pillars?
Yeah, all there, you know. Everything there. The red and blue. It's all, you know, red, white and blue. Red, white and blue. That's the colours.
Well, you see, this is why I think we have an advantage now in this age of information, in that we can understand, and as they say, symbols and signs are going to be their downfall, because they do seem to have to make these signs. They have to tell us, and then it's on us if we allow ourselves to be deceived.
Yeah, it goes back to the hieroglyphs, you know. So
how does it go back to them? How does it go back to the hieroglyphs?
Because that was the whole banking dynasty back then, like, you know. So everything is just a banking cartel from start to finish. And they hide there. So like even the Ogham stones, like that was a secret language of the elites, you know. It wasn't some magical Irish language. It was the secret language of these elites, like. So Irish, I don't know where Irish comes into it. Like how far back can you come back? Yeah, I've been looking, and it goes back to the 1100s. In the Book of Kells, it's all Latin, and then there's Irish added in at a later date. Yeah. So what is Irish?
Well, it's a funny one, because Dr. Sean O'Neill, he is from County Clare. Now, he's kind of an expert in speaking Irish and linguistics and all the rest. He says the Irish that they have on TG Cahir is a kind of bastardized, ugly version. That's not the Irish that he learned. That is, that there's a kind of a poetic Irish too. That's interesting.
Yeah, like the Clo Gaelic Irish. You go back. I have a friend in Wales, and her nanny watches the TV today, and she's like, I don't know what they're saying. It's not the Welsh. They've changed the Welsh. They've changed everything. They've just changed everything to confuse everyone, and we don't know who we are anymore. You know? So it's all in heraldry. That's how I see people. I mean, I see when you came in. I know who you are. It's funny. So
what do you mean heraldry?
All in your family crests, you know.
Oh yeah, so, what's my family crest? It's a and I think it's a knight with all the silver on. I think.
Okay,
I looked it up. I think he's got a thingy bob.
An arrow, yeah.
Yeah.
I think mine's
what's your one?
I think mine has 3 lions or something. I don't know. Hang on, I have a look.
Yeah. I'd be afraid what you might find. You know what I mean? I'd be like, God knows what it means.
It's like, what are we? Yeah, mine has 3 lions' heads on them, you know? So it's like, what am I?
I mean, I'm sure, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure to survive all these years, there's been all sorts of deals made. You wouldn't know what you'd find, really and truly. Let me just pull mine up.
My uncle wrote a family tree there about 15 years ago, and he could only really go back as far as the 1850s.
Yeah.
Everything's been destroyed before that. So they've made it impossible for us to find out who we are, 1922, the fire in the post office there, out in Dublin, everything was lost. So that was deliberate,
That was so deliberate, wasn't it?
Yeah, big time. That's your crest there. Look
yeah,
at you.
See, you don't know. Do you think I'm a Jew? What does it even mean?
It's not even a Jew, it's maybe are we like the lost tribes of Judah anyway, So
well, that's another one, isn't it?
Yeah, we have no idea. Is that what they're trying to destroy here?
I don't know. I mean, I have an uncle who's mad about Brehon law, who's obsessed with it, actually. He's all about
that comes
Brehon
into
law.
my book as well, apparently, like, Ireland is, like, it's all here. Scotland is Jerusalem. It's all been switched around, There's a
I don't know if I believe that, though.
I can show you stuff. It's not that, it's... Wait and you see, it's the everything's been switched, Constantine, they switched everything.
Yeah.
And Palestine is just, it's a colony. All these Palestines, it's all colonized, and they just make up all these names. They've moved places all over the world. Look, you have Ireland is over in America, all these names of Ireland, you'll have, there's parts of like the Rhine, there's parts of Germany that's like in Scotland. You'll find bits of places like Turkey, Constantinople, they keep changing the names of places, and they keep moving people around when they change these things. So they took all these people, like they filled up the South America with Sephardic Jews as well back in the 1600s. That's what went to South America, so
right.
And they fitted in a lot easier because their color, and they sent Africans over there, and they all fitted in easier because their color. But white people is like, oh, we just stand out like a bottle of milk here. It's like, you don't fit in here, and it's like, we belong here in Europe. That's where we're from.
Well, I'm interested in Christendom, the fact that it was Christendom, and that's why that possibly that we created so many beautiful buildings.
Christendom. Like, there was something beautiful going on at one point, and Napoleon came up and destroyed it. Like, whatever was going on, there was Tartaria, something, all these wonderful buildings, and then they came in. I look at all these towers, the round towers here, and I kind of got a little bit mixed up there now going around looking at them. I'm like, okay, it's the old stone ones with all you have the stone mason, and it's perfectly masoned together, right? And it looks neat. And then you have all the old stone houses where they're all just kind of thrown together. The old stone walls.
Yeah.
I thought they were the prehistoric, but it seems it's the other way around. The round towers were here first, and then they came in and built these monasteries. So these round towers were here long before the Knights Templar came. And they're associated with fertile land. They're paramagnetic. They bring in energies. They're on all these ley lines. So they're energetic, and they knew this, and they came in and built on top of them for some reason. So there's a whole, there's a book called The Occult Grid of Dublin. Did you ever read that?
Oh, I saw you sharing that. I haven't read it. Is it good?
Read it. It's not a long book, but it's an interesting read, and it gives you, their grids. Everything is on the grid. They're geniuses. Whoever these people are, and whatever they've done worldwide, like, hats off to them. They're as clever as they come, but they've enslaved the world because of that.
Well, what I've noticed with the Luciferian brilliance, because you definitely see that they're tapping into some kind of brilliance, all right, is then their power of deception, their power to use their brilliance for nefarious ends. So, like, they can blind you with their powerful, brilliant tongue, but then I noticed that they'll put in some misdirection, turn it off, and like twist you in another way, expecting that you're not supposed to notice because you're too thick, and you're supposed to be so reverential towards them that you wouldn't spot it. So, the Luciferians are everywhere.
Yeah, it is everywhere. It is. People are in it and they don't even realize it,
Yeah.
Like Bella Dodd. Did you ever hear Bella Dodd?
Bella Dodd. Who's that now?
The devil and Bella Dodd. She was a communist who infiltrated the Catholic Church back in the 30s, around that time. And she admits she put 1,500 communists into the Catholic Church. That's what's gone on ever since. And before she died, she confessed because she obviously felt something guilty there. So yeah, like there's been communists and you can see them all there now, they're shining bright there.
It's amazing because you can see, part of the clergy plan is to empty out the churches. Like it's to empty, because there is power in it, no matter whether you're religious or not. There is power in those churches. And again, I don't quite understand it, but I'm open-minded enough to go, well, they've stopped the bells. Why did they stop the bells? Like, the bells were powerful at deterring demons. And I think we've forgotten just how to spiritually protect ourselves.
The organs in these churches, like, what do? They play at a resonance, a frequency, and they fix your organs. People go in there to listen to these songs and heal, because there's a resonance in these frequencies that heal the body. And that's what it's all down to, sound, for frequency, vibration. And that's what heals, and all these parasites, that's what's going on with everyone. They're full of parasites. Oh God!
Before I let you go, parasite cleanse. Any good ones?
Yeah.
Ivermectin. What do you think?
No.
No. Are you like anti-ivermectin? Do you think it's red herring?
Pharmaceuticals. Yeah, I just don't go near them. I turned my back on the medical system nearly 20 years ago, and I haven't used them since. I even had a baby with nothing. So I was like, yeah, and I don't even remember the pain now, it was painful at the time, but you forget it. It's mad. It's why women keep having babies, I guess. It's like you forget the pain. But yeah, drugs, no. And it's so, like, there's fentanyl in this country now. What they're doing, I found out, one of my family members went and had a procedure done recently, camera down the throat, and she was given fentanyl. Like, it's like, what are you doing? That's an opioid, and like 1 in 4 people every 5 minutes in America are dying from a fentanyl overdose. Yeah. And now they're making it. There's a fentanyl laboratory in Ireland, and they're making it for the hospitals here. It shouldn't be here. One touch.
I think they were killing people with it as well, weren't they? It was part of the end of life treatments.
What?
Treatments. Yeah, I think it was part of it.
Remember, you can't kill yourself. You can't do an end of life treatment unless you have a COVID vaccine. It's like, what the hell? They want to take your soul before you leave, is it?
I know. Like, okay. Wasn't that shocking? I know. An end of life treatment. What's the treatment for? Death. We're treating you for death.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
That'll tell you what all the treatments are.
Yeah. So anything else good for parasites? Apart from not from ivermectin?
Yeah. Black walnut hull, wormwood is how they make ivermectin. So I just go for the plants because they have better constitutes in them, or they're better. So cloves, black walnut hull, I said that, Cascara sagrada, Mimosa pudica, even basil, thyme, rosemary is fantastic for the brain. Thyme takes parasites out of the brain. Everything that is nature will basically remove parasites. I had a woman once, her son took lion's mane for 2 days, and she sent me a picture of a worm like about that size that had come out of him, a 10-year-old boy. This is what's going on with people. The parasites are eating everything, and they're taking away their cognitive ability. They're taking away all the food that people should be eating to get nourished, like the parasites are eating it. So and in doing that, then people aren't grown into the bodies and brains that they're supposed to. They're just malnourished and sick and poisoned. And the reason parasites are there is to accumulate heavy metals. So wherever there's parasites in the body, there's definitely heavy metals. And we're all, since the day we're born, we've been injected with them in this genocide childhood vaccine schedule, you know, and that has to stop.
So how do we get rid of the heavy metals?
Do a heavy metal detox. Everything it's the same thing, same herbs. Fasting is the key. If you had nothing and you just want to detox the body, just eat fruit. Just keep eating fruit. Just keep eating fruit and don't stop eating fruit. Fruit will heal you. It's the best.
There's a war on fruit, isn't there? You know, they say, "Oh, fruit will give you cancer because it's got the sugars. The sugar's the same." Like,
so many diabetics are turned off fruit because they're like, their doctor says that's going to kill you, and it's like it's the one thing you need. You know, your body energy. You put fuel into a car. What do you put in? You put in petrol. What if you put it in because it needs energy? What do we fuel our bodies with? We need energy, so we get energy from sugar, from the fruits, from the sugar. You know, we don't want processed sugar. That's bad. That's what should be like, no, don't touch that. But the sugar from the fruits is our body, like we have a glucose level in it, you know, our blood we need sugar in our bloods. 10,000 angiostroms is what fruit is on the level of energy. It's the highest source of food for energy. And then you have meat and it's down at 0. So you can see why people are tired after they eat a big meal full of meat. Like they have to sit there like a lion to digest it, and you know.
Yeah, well, they're eating too much of it. Yeah, they're definitely eating too much. But
and that's fascinating as well. You know,
not helping matters at all. No. But for those people who are now slowly, it's dawning. Oh God, what did I do taking that injection? What's the best remedy to get that? I don't know, the spike protein, whatever's going on in there, to clear it out of the system.
Again, fasting is nature's operating table. Everyone's going out looking for these protocols. These protocols, to me, they're full of shit. Like a lot of these things are hurting people. You know. Like there's a lot of toxic chemicals in these protocols, like ivermectin. It's like I wouldn't go near them, you know. So the reason the body is sick is because it's poison. So you're not going to heal the body by putting more poison in. The reason the parasites are there is because of poison and heavy metals. So why put more poison in is you're going to kill all the parasites, and they're kind of your defense mechanism against all the poison, in a sense, you know. So they kill all them. And then if you're not going to give a pathway for these to leave the body, they're just swimming around dead inside your body, like, aren't they? There's people, there's a whole process to detox in the body, and it begins in the gut. So you work with the gut first. You open that gut area, and you see anyone that's like, it's all swollen down here, and people can't go to the toilet. And that's like, once that's blocked, everything else, the whole way up is blocked, and the whole way down to your ankles is blocked, you know, and it's just a chemical soup swimming around inside, and it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's mucus. It's like fat is mucus. It's the snails inside people. People don't understand what's going on inside their bodies. I've had some stuff come out, people, for the last 2 years. Like they send me, that's gory. You know, there's snails and slugs and worms, and that's what's inside people. They think it only happens over in third world countries. It's happening in this country, and you're just not been told. My friend has been sick for ages, and he tried to get parasite tests done in this country, and he got whatever he got done, and they came back and they said no. And this guy has been sick, like, and they're not getting answers, you know. So he's moved abroad to Poland since. And they were able to do the test and find out that, yeah, he does have parasites. So, like, why are they hiding in this country? You're doing the tests and you're not.
I mean, in the third world countries, they do parasite cleanses twice a year.
Yeah, you know, and only in Ireland, it's like, no such thing, no parasites here.
Very suspicious behavior.
Parasites are in the government. We need a deep cleanse of parasites in the government, you know. And once we do that, then the country will be free.
It is a running theme.
Out again.
Yeah, it's the snakes out again. It's the running theme of the parasites and the people having to understand and take control and speak up and stop waiting for heroes, stop waiting for Donald Trump, stop waiting for somebody to come and do it for you.
Yeah. The hero's in your head here. You are it. You just have to become powerful. You become powerful with your health sovereignty, and then you become powerful with your law sovereignty. And once you get the two of them there, you govern yourself, and you know exactly who you are in this world, and you'll never be, no one will ever govern you again. Put it that way.
And that feels very nice. Just knowing that, it feels good.
Yeah, it's powerful. There's freedom here for all of us. We put our trust into this system, and it's not there anymore. So turn your back on something you can't trust, and you start something new. And that's what we're doing. So we have meetings on every week. We're starting something new. Or not every week, every month, once a month. In Kilkenny, we have meetings for people to come to, just to hear what we're doing, and show them.
And where do you meet up?
Up in Kilkenny, with different venues every time, but it's Kilkenny is their base, like, kind of, yeah. So, so another couple of weeks, we're going to have another one again. And it's just so we can show people and know it's to step out of this world of debt and to step into a world of credit. It's all there. Life doesn't have to be so hard. It really doesn't. All these bills, they're already prepaid. Your gas, all of it, So,
well, now, I mean, I've looked into it a bit, and I must say, once you start, it's like, wow, there's truth in it. It's so interesting, but it
was stolen at one point, like the Knights Templar, whatever. They did live well under these people for 200 or 300 years, and then Prince Philip came in and he destroyed the whole thing. And this is where a lot of trouble started from there on in again, I guess.
Yeah,
again. But they lived well under them. They had their freedoms, basically. They didn't.
Well, it goes back to the Magna Carta, doesn't it? Really, and like that's why I'm very cautious about telling people. There's a whole movement, give up voting, and I understand the blue-red and the two-party system and the fact that it's all skewed, but I'm very, very slow to tell people give up any of your rights, because give up your rights.
Not giving them up.
Dictatorship.
You're taking them back. You're not giving up at, and you're literally taking them back. You're not trying to destroy the system that's there. You're just taking back your rights within the system that's already there, because these communists came in the 30s and they took them. That's all that happened. We all lived well at one point, we really did. And well, not us, since the 30s, like we were born into communism. We were born into this, and we're going to get everyone out of it, and that's where we're going. So,
well, if we look at the excess deaths, we know that we're in a very dangerous, precarious situation, and the replacement migration. But listen, I better leave you to your evening. We've gone over the hour now, and it's been really interesting talking to you. I've enjoyed it now. There's a lot to take on. People can find you on X, and we look forward to the book too. Where will we be able to buy the book?
I don't know. I haven't really looked into. I have to figure that one out. I've never written a book before, so that's my next thing. I guess Lulu or Amazon. I don't know. I have to look into them to get them printed up. So, but look, it won't be long. It'll be in the next few weeks, hopefully, and we'll get it out there. I just have a few pictures left. I want to go to some of the sites that I talk about, and not to copyright anyone else's pictures, but to take my own. Like so. So yeah. Give me a few weeks and it'll be there. But yeah, I can't wait, because it's been all this stuff in my head for years. It's like, if I don't get it out, I can move on from it now, and focus on something else as well, because it's just been consuming me. So it's
you're a rare one, a rare pearl, as they call them in France, a rare pearl in that you're an original. And a great researcher. When you go after something, you really want to know all of it. What I found with you, Louise, is that it's not just about being right. You are right in so many areas, but you don't mind exploring, weighing things up, getting some new information and reassessing. I mean, there's an awful lot to be said for that. Plus, as far as I'm concerned, you don't have an agenda. You're not getting paid. You're not a rent-a-gob.
No, I'm not a rent-a-gob, no. And neither are you, Fair play to you for all that you've done. You've put yourself out there. You've stepped out of RTE, and seen TV3, it for what it is. Our TV3,
you couldn't go back.
No, you couldn't. No. No, you can't. It's like switching on. You just can't switch off, you know? So
no, it'd be like going back
from your, like, anyone else from who you worked with, have any of them woken up? Like, are they?
Well, because I've taken such a strong stance and because I'm kind of dangerous, really, you know, I haven't got in touch with people. I've kind of just let them have their, because I don't want to contaminate their public image. Because, you know, if you're seen talking to me even, it's like, wow, you know, that she's now far right or whatever it is.
You're an extremist.
I'm an extremist, domestic terrorist, you name it. But, you know, I'm similar enough to you in that if you're going to do all this research and study, you do need to spend time on your own to do it. Like, you do need time and effort. So I'm enjoying this process. I'm finding it really interesting. So, and I like being on my own, or else with, you know, my family and friends. So no, I've kind of left people alone in that sense.
Do their own. You get more done on your own. Like my friend said to me years ago, you're an island of your own. And it's like, you kind of have to be, otherwise you'll just be influenced by everyone else around you and you won't get what, like I dropped everyone, all my friends like years ago, because like 10, 15 years ago was when I woke up to the vaccines, and I've been shouting about all this and health since then. So like before COVID even came, I lost everyone. You know, it was like, shut up, you. No one wants to hear it. We've all vaccinated our children. We don't want to know. So, and then it was like the ones then that were vegan. I was like, well, you're eating the vaccines, you know. I was like, the vaccinated ones. I was like, you're eating the vaccines in your meat. I was like, but that didn't stop them giving up their meat. I was like, you know. So anyway. But that's why I've just been like annoying people for years. That's all I've been doing. So I'm sorry, everyone. I didn't mean to like hurt you or anything. It's just I had to do things to get to where I am right now, you know.
Well, you see, you need the artists. The artists, and you are actually a wonderful, fine artist too. But an artist in the mentality of an artist where it's not all commercial. It's not like about how much money can I get for that? You know, my time's money. Which is kind of, most people are sellouts. You see it with the rent-a-gobs too. You know, somebody's got to pay them to follow an agenda. So, you know, but you do need the pure of hearts to be able to stand up on those watchtowers, look out and say, well, there's trouble coming. And society generally usually likes the artist for that. Yeah. Except now the lies overpowered, you know, that true artistry.
These are propagandist artists, aren't they? They're not like rebels anymore. They're just doing what they're told for money, and they'll paint the plantation wherever around the country, you know. It's like, come on, people.
Stop being sellouts. All right, Louise, I'll leave you to your lovely evening.
All right, so lovely chatting.
Right.
See you soon.
Okay,
right, bye. Yeah, bye.